I feel like the last couple of years you've like purposely picked this fight with the red states. I mean, the dissent. Yeah, but I don't want to live in the Civil War.
I agree with that.
You know what? Well, but you seem like you purposely want to set up this dichotomy between, this is a blue state and that's a red state.
Yeah. You got folks out there trying to bring us back to a pre-1960s world. America in reverse, rolling back voting rights, LGBTQ rights, women's rights, not just access to abortion, but contraception. I mean, it's a profound and consequential moment. And you could sit by and say, well, I really want to get along, as these guys are rolling back the clock.
The governor gave this creepy speech where he was talking about speculators coming in and talking about what to do with the land of all these homes that have been burnt down.
We're dealing with a myriad of issues. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties.
While it's still only 6% contained, and he did this.
Bill Maher and Gavin Newsom had a heated exchange on Real Time with Bill Maher, and it got intense. Maher has been outspoken about his criticism of woke politics for a while, but no one expected him to be put on the defensive like this. With sharp questions and relentless pushback, Maher challenged the California governor in a debate that felt more like a political showdown than a casual conversation. It was a clash of perspectives, and the tension was clear. So how did Newsom handle the pressure? Did Maher land a solid punch? Stick around because we're breaking it all down now. Check out this moment. The audience's reaction says it all.
Job, not this year, we know. No, I know. But he said, I don't think he could win. I don't think he could win. He's too progressive coming from this state and what he's done in this state to win in any southern state, any red state. I disagreed, but no, this is a progressive African-American owned station, and I'm sure they like you, but he doesn't think you can win. What do you say to that if you could win look at the swing states, there's only 8 of them.
Right. Well, I mean, California is an interesting case study, isn't it? It's the size of 21 state populations combined.
Yeah.
2/3 of the state is very deeply red. We don't need to be lectured on rural politics or border issues. I mean, in so many ways, these are familiar issues, and the issues of the heartland of the United States are very much a part and parcel of the work we're doing in this state. But look, I understand this notion that you're from the coast, you don't understand those things. You can't talk the language. You're not able to communicate. And you're not able to actually encourage and find that common ground.
It's stuff like there's a new law in this. I think we have way too many regulations and laws, as we've talked about. And this one, I think, says if you're a department store with over 500 employees, you have to have a gender-neutral toy department. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I get it.
So do you think that's silly? You think that's a silly thing that we too much government, too much government?
If you listen closely, you can actually hear the audience gasp because no one saw this coming. Maher didn't just challenge Newsom, he backed him into a corner. For a brief moment, you can see it. Gavin's expression shifts, his words falter as he scrambles for a response. It was a classic, relentless, sharp exchange that was impossible to dodge. Maher kept the pressure on Newsom with fewer and fewer ways out, but politicians always find an exit, and Newsom was no exception. He spotted an opening. Now, let's break it all down with my take.
That's an interesting one because the department stores came to us supporting that, and they were the ones making a case for that. They were making a case they're already moving in that direction.
Wanted you to make a law about them?
Well, but they supported the legislation. It wasn't legislation that was enacted, that was initiated from my office, but it was legislation that came up with interesting support from the industry itself. But I understand how that's exploited, and good people can disagree. But that's not something we woke up and said, this is a top priority for the state, when we know what the top priorities are: homelessness, housing, the issues of crime, quality of life, and issues related to regulation and taxes, which are all top of mind. But I get how those things are.
The question is simple. Does Newsom believe the government should force toy stores with over 500 employees to have gender-neutral sections? A straightforward yes would have made it clear, but of course, that's not how politicians operate. Instead, Newsom took the scenic route, rambling about how department stores supposedly support it. Right. Even if that were true, it completely sidesteps the real political maneuvering. This is what leaders do, especially those defending government overreach. They twist, turn, and dodge, hoping no one notices the contradictions.
Oh, well, I got you here because I live here and I'm not going anywhere. So I just want to make this a better state like everybody else.
Amen.
And good job this year making it rain.
You're welcome. That was my legislative.
Maher wasn't about to let him slip away so easily. Watch closely, he begins with a bit of flattery, then quickly pulls the rug out from under Newsom.
Of water in the Colorado River and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then whenever I read, 80% of the water goes to agriculture. Almonds.
Right.
No one ever asked you about almonds? Oh, I'm going to ask you about almonds. We grow a boatload of
I'm
almonds
well
here.
aware.
You know how much water it takes?
Many gallons.
1,900 gallons to grow a pound of almonds.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Take on big almond.
Big almonds.
I mean, it's not like we don't have.
Maher starts off with a little flattery, just enough to make Newsom shift in his seat, already sensing what's coming. And he wasn't wrong. There's that nervous chuckle from the audience. Yeah, they felt it too. They knew their golden boy was about to walk right into a rhetorical trap. Newsom, always the smooth operator, was preparing for his big moment, except Maher beat him to it. And when it hit, it wasn't just a rhetorical drop. It was a full-on wrecking ball. The governor scrambled, the audience cringed, and Maher just sat back, watching it all unfold.
Extreme years with these atmospheric rivers. Wets are getting a lot wetter, dry's drier, hot's getting a lot hotter. And so we've got to modernize our conveyance system. We've got to modernize our storage, not just above ground, but below ground. And so that's a big part of our focus and frame, including desalinization plants. We have 20 projects just on desal that we're working on today. So we put out a detailed water strategy that includes, by the way, getting that Delta conveyance project back up and operational, and includes the first above ground off stream storage facility in half a century in the state, which, by the way, is being aided by a regulatory package I pushed forward to reduce red tape in the state of California and address the permitting quagmires that you rightfully.
For years, California officials have raised alarms about water shortages, claiming the state's rivers just can't keep up. But here's the kicker. Investigations show there is enough water. The real problem is that a staggering 80% of it is being used up by, of all things, almonds. Yep, those little nuts are guzzling as much water as all indoor household use combined, and their impact on California's economy is only about 2%. Maher didn't mince words. He hit Newsom with a direct question. What is your office actually doing to fix this water crisis? That's when Newsom slipped into full-on politician mode, dodging the issue like he was preparing for Dancing with the Stars.
Good at this job. Okay. But I feel like the last couple of years you've like purposely picked this fight with the red states. I mean, the but I don't want to live in the Civil War.
I agree with that.
You know what?
Well,
but you seem like you purposely want to set up this dichotomy between, this is a blue state and that's a red state. Yeah. And I don't want to live in that country. I like Florida.
I'm with you. And by the way, I like Florida as well. I like all these states. I completely agree. I don't want to have a state of mind that's a constant fight or flight. We've gone through so much. We've been polarized and traumatized. It's been a tough 5-6 years across the globe, not just in this country. That said, I'm not going to sit back and watch. You made the point just a moment ago in your monologue. You got folks out there trying to bring us back to a pre-1960s world. America in reverse, rolling back voting rights, LGBTQ rights, women's rights, not just access to abortion, but contraception. I mean, it's a profound and consequential moment. And you could sit by and say, well, I really want to get along as these guys are rolling back the clock, or you can stand tall and assert yourself. And the reason I started to go into those red states, the reason I started to take on DeSantis, and the reason I started doing ads in these red states is I didn't feel my party was doing enough. It was CRT one year, and then it's ESG, and it's DEI. Anything with 3 letters, these guys keep coming, and they're shaped.
Did you catch that Virgil gymnastics? It was impossible to miss. Maher's question was crystal clear. What is Newsom actually doing about the almond industry guzzling California's water supply? But instead of giving a straightforward answer, Newsom dodged like a pro, sidestepping the issue with the grace of a seasoned politician. Rather than confronting the fact that nearly all of California's water is funneled into an industry that contributes just 2% to the state's economy, he launched into a well-practiced monologue about rainwater storage and bay conservation efforts. Classic misdirection. This is the political playbook in action. When the facts get uncomfortable, flood the conversation with buzzwords and hope no one notices. But Maher did, and judging by his smirk, so did the audience. Say what you want about Maher, but this is why people respect him. He doesn't just poke holes in talking points, he tears them apart. And if this interview proved anything, it's that when the spotlight hits political contradictions, some narratives crumble faster than a gluten-free cookie at a Berkeley coffee shop.
Well, I got you here because I live here and I'm not going anywhere. So I just want to make this a better state like everybody else. And good job this year making it rain.
You're welcome. That was my legislative.
Newsom is a master of the political dodge, which is exactly why he carefully selects his media appearances, steering clear of anyone who might actually challenge him. And that's right, Maher's sarcasm in this moment says it all. You can practically hear the skepticism dripping from his voice. To Maher, Newsom probably looks like just another slick, polished politician, someone who can talk in circles for hours without actually saying anything. He spins empty rhetoric so confidently that he might even convince himself. But here's the kicker. Maher isn't buying it, and judging by the audience's reaction, neither are they. If you thought this was the peak of Newsom's spin, just wait until you hear what he says next.